Hello, my name is Zanete and I'm the designer behind Zanete Knits. And today I can finally tell you all about the sweater that I have been wearing loads and loads. The pattern is coming tomorrow and it is called the Fire Lily sweater. This was a collaboration with Miss Motte yarns and we are using her lofty Plied. So that's 100% merino superwash, but it's 2 plied, so it's really squishy and I love it. It's really nice to touch and as I said, I've been wearing it so much lately because it's just stunning and there's like no pilling at all. It's amazing. I love this yarn and I want to make more things in it. But in this video I will tell you all about the inspiration, the gauge and needles and sizing, as well as the techniques used and the construction, and a little bit about possible modifications. So the inspiration part. This is hopefully a first in many what could become a floral themed collection. I don't really have a name for the collection yet, but I'm sure it'll come when I need to have it. I actually love how we came up with this project idea with Miss Motte yarns. I sent her some swatches of some ideas that I've had, because it was important for me that the person who's generously supporting me with yarn also appreciates the design aesthetic. And she mentioned that at the first glance of looking at this yoke design, it reminded her of the fire lily plant. So it was a no-brainer that we had to call it that. But yeah, I had the idea already last year, I think. I just wasn't sure how to apply it yet. This floral motif came to be in a swatch first, and now there is a sweater. There's actually around 50 sweaters because that's how big the test knitter group was, and one of them made 2. So now on to the gauge and needles. So the gauge is quite small. It's 30 stitches times 34 rows, and that's what really allowed to make these fine lines and these intricate details. It wouldn't be possible on a DK, let alone worsted weight yarn. So this is a fingering weight project. I had to use 2.75 millimeter, that is US 2 size, to get the gauge. The ribbing is made on smaller needles, even smaller, but that's optional. And we are using 4 colors here. So the main is a neutral called Cool Pebble, and then she custom created these 3 colorways named Gloriosa I, Gloriosa II, and Gloriosa III for this design that go from this warm pinky, orangey, salmony to dark burgundy. Excuse me if I'm getting the colors wrong, and I'm not even sure they're coming out right in the video anyway, but there's 3 contrast colors that are making this amazing gradient. And I think that there have been people who use 5 or just 1 as well is fine. Yeah, anything goes. This is probably a great opportunity to make your own gradient from leftovers if you have some in the stash that are begging for a new project, or you can go and see Karen's web shop, and her colorways are stunning. I'm sure you will be able to come up with something spectacular. With regards to sizing, the pattern comes in 8 sizes, and it's intended to be worn with 0 to 5 centimeters or 0 to 2 inch positive ease. And so that makes the chest circumference finished for size 1 is 84.5 centimeters or 33 3/4 inches, and for the largest size the chest circumference is 154.5 centimeters, that is 61.3 3/4 of an inch. So it's all in all a very simple construction. It's a top-down sweater. There's no cardigan options. There's only one circumference for neck, but we do start at casting on the the stitches for the neckline at the base, and the neckband does get added afterwards. You have some control over how close the neck comes up to, or you can leave it wider by making a smaller neckband. You can work it on larger needles, and then it would be more of a boat neck because the design allows for that as well. We begin by casting on the neckline stitches. We do all the increases. There is a bit of short row shaping at the back to raise the back. And the sample is using Japanese short rows, and the pattern has instructions as well as links to video demos for how that's done. But you can substitute the short row technique for any short row technique that you prefer. And then we start the color work. And because you can probably see there are quite big floats here, big sections in one color, this pattern also offers the option to use the ladderback-jacquard technique for catching floats. And it has 4 charts. So there are 2 charts on a light background in case your contrast colors were darker. And there are 2 charts on a dark background in case you have a dark main color and lighter contrast colors. And one of those charts is without the ladderback-jacquard stitches, and one of them has ladderback-jacquard stitch placements already there suggested. But again, it's a suggestion. If they don't work for you, feel free to make your own placements. The ladderback-jacquard method might be new for some of you, but it's really, really simple, and it has a surprisingly amazing effect. And it leaves like a mesh on the inside of the color that isn't being used. So it's very simple. I have a couple of videos. The videos are my usual, just a quick demo with my hands. There is no explanation on what I'm doing because I'm assuming that you're watching them in the context of the textual description. But YouTube is full of demo videos in case you need a more elaborate explanation of this technique. But I swear it's very simple and straightforward. This project is probably one where it does make sense to use it because the floats are quite irregular and in places quite long. So I really recommend you give it a try. Once we've done the yoke to the length where we would like to separate the sleeves and body, that's exactly what happens. So we cast on some underarm stitches. And because we have 2 strands of color, as you can see, the color work hasn't finished yet at the time of separation, we are able to use the long tail cast on using 2 strands. One is the main color, one is contrast color to cast on, so you don't have to use backwards loop cast on or cable cast on and continue trapping the float. And then you just continue until you're done with the color work, and then the rest is plain stockinette until the hem with some twisted ribbing. And sleeves as well get worked separately down to the cuff. These sleeves are slightly modified silhouette because for some of the larger sizes I couldn't get trapeze shape. So the cadence of the decrease is slightly slower until you get to the last third of the sleeve when they accelerate, and that creates like not a balloon but a more curved instead of the straight sleeve, and that adds a little bit of a romantic touch to the sweater, which is already quite romantic due to the floral theme. I think I've covered all the techniques and the construction, and now it's probably a good idea to mention some modifications that could be done because it's worked top down. Both the sleeves and the body are infinitely adjustable lengthwise, and because the neckband gets added last, you can also maybe even make a turtleneck if that's what you like. If 1x1 ribbing isn't your favorite and you have another fancy ribbing stitch pattern that you'd like to try, it's very straightforward to do that for cuffs, hem, and the neckband. So you can make it your own. What's most important, this really encourages you to play with color. So it's It would be very interesting to see how you combine colors for your version. If you are a newsletter subscriber, then watch out for the email tomorrow morning with your special exclusive discount code for this pattern. If not yet, there is still a chance to subscribe by following the link in the description and adding your email address in the box on our homepage. And I want to express my heartfelt thanks to all the test knitters that were spectacularly posting progress photos of so many different versions of this sweater, and I am so humbled and honored to have such a huge and supportive test knitter group. And I really am so excited to be able to share it with the rest of the knitting community tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.